you're a parent who's constantly quarreling their child about being too much on their PlayStation or on their video gaming platform, then I hope that by the end of this show, you get to understand why you should let them have it, why you should let them play those games and perfect and perhaps get to very, very legendary status. I have just the panel for you. This is the last episode of season 3. Welcome to Africa's biggest tech conversation and show. This is Techover, and my name is Brian Jojetino. We'll be talking about esports today and how you can extract economic value. But first of all, as we always do it here, the tech news of the week. And here's what's up. We are in a very sad week as the tech ecosystem and the tech community. 54 Collective is closing down, and Edukoya, which is a Nigerian edtech platform, also announced its closure after receiving quite some hefty funding. What is happening in the industry and what's up? Here now is what's hottest in the world of tech. Time now for tech news of the week. Mastercard Foundation has pulled out of a commitment to invest $100 million in a leading African venture capital firm at a time when tech startups in the continent are struggling to woo Western funders. 54 Collective, the most active investor in Africa in 2024, and Mastercard Foundation, the US card payment measures international non-government organization, will be pursuing different strategies moving forward, and the partnership will end on 30th April 2025, the VC firm said. During an internal meeting on February 20th, the leadership team of 54 Collective, formerly known as Founders Factory Africa, told its staff that it would result in layoffs as the firm will disband its entire venture studio team, which includes staff that supports its portfolio companies on product, technology, marketing and growth, human resource and business development. In Kenya, 54 Collective invested between $6 to $7 million collectively in a number of startups like Wingy, a startup offering bespoke brand packaging, Zanifu, providing crucial buy now pay later services for SMEs, with the breadth of affected businesses painting a picture of the venture studio's extensive reach. 54 Collective has a team of more than 60 members on the continent. It has regional hubs located in Johannesburg, Nairobi and Lagos, Nigeria, that are all set to close. Startup funding in Africa has been declining since 2022, and entrepreneurs and investors worry this development could further hurt the overall investment sentiment. Besides its immediate impact on the team at 54 Collective, a development like this leaves a big vacuum in the ecosystem. Very well, and I hope we see better days as the tech and startup ecosystem where our funding is not cut and you have constant support in terms of financing and business development. Time now for that conversation on esports. I have just a panel for you. Marianne, there are different careers in this thing. You are what you call a screener or what?
A streamer, shoutcaster, yes.
A shoutcaster?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Yes.
What is that about?
Best example is when you're watching football. When you're watching football live, there's a person that does the commentary for you guys. When Ronaldo is about to, hit that goal, he basically takes you through the journey. So for me, I do that on the esports side.
Demon again in the 10th square. Demon here. 1-0.
Okay. So for example, PUBG, I take them through the game, what is happening, how the kills came in, and all that. Yes, eliminations basically.
Are you able to give us a very brief 30 seconds commentary on a random game? 30 seconds imagine we are in a game setup and you are a commentator. Please look at that camera and give us a very brief commentary on how this thing goes.
I'll use a basic PUBG Mobile league that is happening right now.
Yeah.
So what happens? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your girl, Mitch Gaming, and we are live tonight for the East Africa Clash Games. And we'll be having basically the best teams from East Africa, 8 countries with us. And we're going to be seeing between those countries which team is taking the win. So make sure you watch us till the end. Enjoy the game. Make sure you like, sub, and share the live stream link. We'll be waiting to see, is it going to be Blade, man of the match? Are we going to be having someone like Shakid taking over the title again as the MVP of the matches?
Do you have Swahili commentary there? Okay,
yes.
This is my cue to clap for you.
No, Swahili.
Yeah.
No.
amekuingilia shasha.
Such
kind of a thing.
No, not really. But
Okay.
when something happens, sometimes the English dissolves, and then the Kenyan in you takes over, and then you just become someone else. So it happens basically when there's a lot of fights.
Oh, great.
The Kiswahili takes over.
Great. President Lisigi, let me come back to you. There is an aspect of representation in this thing. That means you're building a community of guys and ladies who are pro gamers, and they need to be represented out there. Just what is the importance of this aspect of bringing people together and having gamers community?
Yeah, the first and most important thing of representation is to grow the awareness, as we are doing today in this show with you, Brian.
Okay.
Is when you bring people together who do a similar thing, you are able to tell the world, look, you have young people who are earning from their skill. Look, you have young people who are creating games. You have young people who are competing in tournaments. You have young people who are streamers and content creators. You have young people who can organize proper events for you. Maybe you can even consider them for concerts, because esports events are similar in concerts. So representation, that is the first thing, awareness. Secondly, it also helps in terms of the policy, because you know, the bigger something gets, the big brother starts watching.
Yeah, exactly.
So you must be there to tell big brother, look, as you create these policies at the Ministry of ICT and Ministry of Sports, because video gaming is a blend of this, you're able to tell them this is the best way to create policies that are enablers and not prohibitors. So that's the second most important thing. And lastly is capacity building. When you bring people together, you are able to harness their abilities and to provide them with a pathway. I meet many young people who tell me, okay, I play, then what?
Then what?
So you're able to tell them, if you believe you can be this good, go the route of demon, become a competitive player. Remember, in every sport in this world, basketball, soccer, it's only the 1% who make it up there. But if you believe that you have skills in front of the screen or the mic, go the way of Mitch Gaming.
Okay.
If you believe you're a good organizer, come, we have live events where we have 500, 1,000 people watching. If you believe you're a good camera person, in this event, I want to get that wonderful shot of Eric playing or Eric celebrating. If you believe you're a writer, somebody needs to tell the story of the ups and downs of this event. So the most important thing we do there is also capacity building. We are also able to tell you, how do you do this responsibly? Okay. How many hours should you play? What you should play if you're a parent? Which games should you buy for your kid? Because some games are age-rated, others are E for everyone. So capacity building, policy, and awareness. Those are the three most important things you are able to do as a federation. As a federation.
Great. Dimo, let me come to you. And the next set of questions are going to be very personal. It's about how much money there is in this gaming industry, in the esports industry. What's the biggest amount of money you've earned, and when was it, and just how can somebody create a career out of it?
Okay, the most money I've earned, I would say, is 200,000.
Oh.
I won a tournament, I think, in 2022.
Okay.
And I won money plus a PlayStation.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of opportunities, because personally, like for FC25, there are tournaments almost every weekend, and gamers attend them, even as small as maybe, let's say, 20,000, and it builds our community. There are even online tournaments, so people participate in during the week. Yeah.
Marianne, this is a typical African home. You're going to your parents telling them, Dad, Mom, mimi nimemua, my career itakuwa video gaming. How was that conversation at that time?
Okay, for me, I'd say it was easy. Okay. Because I gave them something they could actually see that works. Because
what was this something?
Just like Ronnie has said, you have to have a schedule, make sure you're doing your things right. If it's school, make sure you're going to school, get your grades right, and then come back, start your gaming. So when we're having that conversation, I was telling them how I actually enjoy it, and it's helped me. You know, those two small pennies, I won't have to run back to my dad and say, oh, I need this and that. Yes, I'm like, you know, yesterday I streamed, I got something from there, and I'll use this to do this and that. So that definitely became easy. The conversation changed from, why are you playing that much? And okay, how can we help you? How can we make this work? So that's how now I started becoming a little bit serious, and yeah, it worked.
Okay. But does it always go the easy like that with many African parents?
It does not go that easy. Personally, okay, I'm a bit older than Mitch, but not that much older. But if I remember my days...
It's okay, if you played PS1, bro.
Yes. If I remember my days, in PS1. Yes, Nzizetu.
Yeah.
And my friends will bear me witness. I grew up in a wonderful ghetto called Kibra. Okay. And there's a place that was called After Homework, in a place called Olympic. So for us, it was a hide and seek game, because sometimes our parents could come there in the PlayStation shop and remove you there, maybe cane you. I even, we had a scenario where teachers from the local schools would team up so that they monitor you after you've left school. Did you get home or did you pass by the PlayStation place? So early on, I'd say it would be that. But I'd say a huge congratulations to people like Mitch and Demon and other illustrious Kenyan gamers like Queen Arrow, Dark Willow, and much more, who have been doing this, because they have been able to spotlight. And so many parents are able to see this is something that can be there. Also, thank you also, of course, to the administration also has been there, because our previous events, we've had the Minister of Sports, then Honorable Babu Namwamba come to our event. We've recently, 2 days ago, launched a tournament with the county government of Nairobi, together with the deputy, with the deputy governor of Nairobi. And when last year we had a tournament, we had Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi attend. When they do things like this, it becomes our pitch deck to our parents. It's a pitch deck. What better pitch deck can you have than showing a minister or an institution like Mount Kenya University, where their chairman, Professor Gisharu, has officially recognized esports as a sport, has provided space for students and equipment for them to train and compete. Wow.
Great. Dimo, let me come back to you again. What do we need to do more so that we empower as many young people as yourself to be able to get into this? Because this is an alternative employment, and we know that jobs are not there in this country. It's the constant challenge of finishing school and getting into employment. How do we make these opportunities more available and more to raise awareness to more young people to get these opportunities in esports?
For me, I would say it's just turning like your hobby into a career. So you just need to believe in yourself. As for me, I didn't know it would be a career for me. It started like a hobby. I started going to tournaments, started winning, and it turned out to be a career. And yeah. Okay,
great. Yes.
Can I add to something? Yes, because you had also asked on where can you come in, or what can you do to just make this a little bit better. And for esports, we are not as exposed the same way we have sports being exposed. The way you see when something happens, FC wanaenda kucheza, we have to see it on the news, you know. But for esports, we have to have Ronnie come in and maybe ask, maybe how can we come in, can we be aired, something like that. But if we have esports being shown on the TV, seen when Eric was going to France, if it was something that was actually shown on the TV, like the sports news, then of course that is something that will definitely help the esports enthusiasts, the young players, and the parents to come in.
Shout out to Elijah from the sports desk for actually linking us up with this good team here. It was out of the sports desk covering E-League that we got to have this conversation, which is a good thing. Marian, let me come back to you as we get the final round of questions. There are game developers in the country, animators, techies who are putting together this coding and also the characters, rigging, doing all that in Autodesk Maya, in Blender and all that. What is the role of women and ladies in esports? Because I know in tech, ladies are very good at UI, UX design and the like. Is this the only role? And if not, what other roles do ladies play in esports?
Okay, that's not the only role. Actually, to touch on the game developers, there is a game called Hero, and it's Kenyan. Like, it's a Kenyan who has created it, and it's soon going to be shown on the PS. It's going to be something that's going to be played globally. Wow. But people don't really know about that. So you can imagine. But it happens. In Kenya, we have those game developers, something that is not really shown as well. But let's get back to the ladies now. Yes. So how the ladies come in, we actually have a lot we can do. Just that for us to be exposed to that position is not really easy. I'd give an example. When I was starting, the the field was not that broad.
Yeah.
It was mainly the males doing the casting. There's no way you'd find me shouting. It's so random, by the way. If I do it, you won't believe it's me doing it. It's so random, and it doesn't happen to be something that ladies can do. But then ile kelele naweza toa ni vile hapa we're just getting comfortable. But yes.
Anyway.
The ladies do come in a lot.
Yeah.
They're also out there doing actually the organizing as well.
Okay.
We have them as competitive players. He mentioned Queen Arrow. The ladies field for competitive as well is growing now, luckily, because when I started it was not. But now we have opportunities. The ladies are now being seen in the scene. We have Queen Arrow, we have Chantel, we have Dakwilo. They're there, they're growing. They're leading teams to victory.
Follow it up. Oh! There you go. Focus. There you go.
And actually competing in both categories. So it's something that probably in the next, let's give it two years or so, will be same league as Demon, I believe.
Yeah.
We'll have to battle with some of us when it comes to FC. But it is something that is definitely growing for the ladies in esports.
Great. Let me come to Demon. Personalities and the downsides of some of this gaming, because I know it can get you really recluse. You almost have to isolate.
Yeah.
Are there downsides to this gaming, to the esports world?
Okay, I would say maybe someone can be gaming for many hours. You just need to manage your time.
Okay.
You maybe go to the gym, do some activities outside the gaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marianne, there's a parent who is always scolding their child for being on the phone or for being on their PlayStation for long hours. I'd like you to look at that camera and talk to them and tell them the opportunity there is in esports and gaming as we close this part of the show.
Dear parents, as long as you give your child the time, just make sure they have enough coaching, someone who can make them consider how much time they're playing and how much they're going to expose themselves to the screen. Very important. This kid could probably be amongst the best players, walk away with around, mostly in esports mobile, we have prize pools up to billions. Ooh. So you can have your child one day being one of them, but before that, they can practice in Kenya, participate in the small tournaments, the big tournaments that happen in Kenya, come home with something. At the end of the day, the phone that you bought them might be the same phone that buys you a house. So, yeah, let them do it.
Okay. I kind of like the sound of that. Affordable housing. Thank you so much, Marianne, Ronnie, and I feel very odd mentioning that name, but Demon, yes. For coming on the show. Enough said, there you have it. If you are doubting whether or not you can make a career out of esports, there you have it, and you can only have these conversations here on Takeover. This is the season finale for season 3. Let's take a short break. We'll be back with more and know who our innovator this week is. Welcome back. You're watching Takeover, Africa's biggest tech conversation and show here on NTV. This innovator, or rather this fintech that we are highlighting this week, just got PSP license to operate in Tanzania. Ladies and gentlemen, innovators, founders and lovers of tech, here is the story of Tuma Fintech. It's an interesting time for fintech founders. Artificial intelligence is fast disrupting many industries, and tech, fintech no less, is not an exception. But with a $4 billion diaspora remittance ticket value to Kenya, at least in 2024 alone, Tuma, a UK-incorporated fintech, now bets big on East African market as its first entry into the growing African market.
The inspiration was born from basically being an African and having so many African friends who are in the diaspora. And so what has happened, most Africans in the diaspora, they use generic applications and other platforms that are not really fine-tuned to their needs as Africans. But basically what happens when you're in the diaspora, you just look for any remittance platform that you can use. Now the thing about that is that sometimes the transfer fees, they have not really focused on what happens to Africa. So much often things like transfer fees are very exorbitant. Okay. Things like exchange rates, they're not as ideal. Yeah. And so the idea of coming up with Tuma is to make it so focused for the African community and to make it so easy for them, affordable and secure to send money from abroad back home to Africa. As of course, you know, Africans, we are very community driven. Yeah. Of course, you want to send money to George today to go out for a drink. Yeah, and so the idea was to make it so African focused, look at the community aspect of it, look at the issues that they are facing, and make focus on a solution-based application that caters for their most major needs. Okay. Yeah, so that's how we came up with Tuma. And of course, as Tuma says, it's a Swahili word that simply says send.
With growing security threats, founders are faced with the dire need to fortify checks that alleviate user doubts of exposures to cyber attacks and fraud. The amount of work, effort, and research had Tuma deploy numerous innovations to meet this need and develop trust.
Honestly, because we wanted to make it so foolproof in terms of no fraudulent operations that can happen, security. I know people are very vital when it comes. It's very crucial to ensure security of funds through the remittance apps. It actually took us around 3 years to come up with it.
Okay, that's solid.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can assure our people, and now that we're getting the market, we can give them assurance that the application is very secure. We have done tests in every single way to ensure there is no fraudulent or compliance issues that can come.
Tuma is presently available for iOS and Android application users. Linda revealed the business model is making revenue off of spreads for the cross-border remittances.
Many people in this space as users, they're very keen on exchange rates, even more than the application. They're very keen on fees and rates. Yeah. So in as much as it's not a feature per se, but to our users, they are very keen on those two things more than anything. So we can give them assurance that, number one, we have 0 transaction fees. Wow. So that is catered for. Yeah. So and then secondly, we have very competitive, actually the best rates in the market. And of course, they can check that because I know such users, they like to compare different applications so that they can easily see.
The fintech recently got approval as a licensed payment system provider PSP by the Bank of Tanzania, permitting real-time payment processing for merchants, mobile wallet solutions, and float management for other fintechs. However, the Tanzanian market is relatively a cash-based economy, and we sought to understand just how Tuma plans to navigate this phenomenon.
In as much as in comparison to Kenya and to Uganda, of course, as much as we are comparing with them, as they say, and as you have mentioned, it's very cash focused. Okay. However, we're at an age where we are at a ripe age where mobile penetration is very high. And I think we have come in at a right time for the Tanzanian market, where everyone is now moving to the mobile platforms. It's much easier. Number one, it's very easy, it's very convenient, rather than just putting cash under a mattress, as you previously said. You want to have it on the phone, on the go. So we're at a ripe age, so I'm quite excited to get to the Tanzanian market, because we're at that point where the market is ready for us.
And that's our startup this week. All right, there you have it right there. That was Startup of the Week. And now let's have the tech tip and just close the show at that point.
Hi guys, and welcome to this week's tech tip of the week. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can create a resume or a cover letter for free using this website. So the website is called resume.com. Once you're there, click create my resume, and you don't need to create an account. Right here, you're going to see templates, so you can go ahead and choose the one that you want. Once you've done so, you can just hover around here and edit it with your details. Once you're done, just click download, and that's it. Hopefully that was helpful. That's it for this week. See you in the next one.
And that's where we end it at, right here on Takeover. Thank you so much for staying with us for 3 seasons. This is the season finale for season 3. We really, really appreciate that you're able to have us in your living room, in your phone, wherever it is you consume your content, talking about tech policies, latest innovation, what's happening in the world of tech, and so much more. The show will certainly be taking a break with repeats airing on NTV, but we want to just thank you so much for supporting us all this time. This was the season finale for season 3 on Takeover. We will be back with season 4 and continue giving you the best of tech coverage. My name is Brian Josetieno. As always, stay techy and may tech live forever.